Welcome back to our weekly drink series. Today, we're going to talk about and unfold some of the misconceptions and understandings of what is a long black. Traditionally, coffee had two beverages, espresso and cappuccinos. But during the war, there was many Americans that were in Europe and they were looking for a coffee that was not as strong as espresso and more so like their weaker, larger brewed versions like filter coffee in North America. Now in Europe, they didn't have those capabilities. So what they would do is they would brew a short espresso and then they would add that to a cup of hot water. This was the birth of the Americano. But a long black, slightly different. The main difference that most people agree on is that an Americano has espresso added to the cup first and then hot water poured on top of it, filling it up. That means that the water is mixing up the crema and the beverage is slightly more homogeneous from start to finish and a little less intense on your first sip, where the long black has hot water filled up and then the espresso is poured on top, allowing the crema to have a layer on top of your water, adding a more robust first sip. Now, either way, the beverages are very similar in strength and in preparation, but how I've come to see the biggest difference is Americanos are larger beverages, 10, 12, 14, 16 ounces, where a long black is a shorter version. Think about elongating an espresso. So we'll brew one today. Purge a little bit of water just to get our group head ready, and we'll pull a shot. Now, as the shot starts to brew, I'll fill up our cup with some hot water. Now I have here around a 7-ounce cup. I'll just be pouring hot water, just about leaving an ounce, 2 ounces on the top. Now we can see we have our espresso with the crema brewed. I pour that on top of the beverage, and that's gonna allow for some of that crema to float on top, allowing for your first sip to be a little bit more coffee forward and a little bit more intense. And this is a long black. It's not to be confused with a long shot or an allongé or a lungo, which would mean pulling our shot of espresso for a much longer time and filling up this cup directly from the portafilter. Go make yourself a long black and enjoy the nice nuances of espresso with a little bit of hot water to open up those flavors and soften the intensity. Thanks for watching, and remember, it takes two to brew. See you next time.